Hey trainers, Poke Dad here along with the Dancing Bear at first base.
Kick extra 128.
Great beast in his natural habitat.
Indeed.
Today we're going to profile a deck that we're excited about. It definitely can make a comeback with the recent bans. No Hex, no Getsis, no Puzzles, no Oppression,
No Wally.
no Turn 1 Wally for item lock, and that's the stuff that's really held this deck back is the Hex and the Getsis, really, right?
Mm-hmm. And the Wally, I'd say, for the Trevenant decks.
So, any sort of item lock, this deck is going to struggle a little bit. You know, your Toad decks are going to beat up on it a little bit. And even Trevenant, if they get going pretty good and you don't get set up, they're going to give you a hard time. But I think it's positioned well. It's going to do good against Malamar. It's going to do good against, Dawnwings. They have Dawnwings to get out of paralysis.
I think you'd have to take out the Dawnwings with the Zorks.
So, maybe a little different strategy on the Malamar decks, but for the most part, Buzzwall should be an auto win. What else? The Blastoise, Archie's Blastoise should be an auto win. And what else?
It's probably other
Trevenant,
decks.
other Zorak variants. This should win. So, and the deck we're talking about is Acclegor Trevenant. And we had some debate on whether to go with Trevenant or Wobbuffet. And or Stoutland. And the problem with Stoutland is it's a little less consistent. Wobbuffet being the most consistent, and Trevenant being right in the middle. And don't forget, it won 2014 Worlds by Trent Orndorff, and then in the Top Cut Invitational, Sablehouse beat Cawthon in the championship with it. So let's dive into the list, see what we got.
Starting it off. 3 Shelmets. Sorry, that was a little high. 3 Acclegors. And 4 Phantoms. 3 Trevenants. 2 Mews. 1 Shaman. 1 Lele. 1 line of Zork, and a 1 line of Slugma Macargo.
Okay, so 3-3. You never need 4-4 or 4-3. 3-3 is absolutely perfect. You're just wanting to set up basically one on the bench and use Mew as your main attacker. And Trevenant, you're gonna item lock them. Attach Floatstone with Trevenant, retreat into Mew, hopefully, with a DCE, and then copy Deck and Cover, which paralyzes and poison, plus 50 damage. Shuffle Mew and the DCE back into the deck, and a lot of times with this deck, you've seen Musharna, or you've seen artillery builds, and that's no longer needed. You don't have to dig that deep into the deck. You can just run your Macargo, smooth over, trade into it with Zorak, and all of a sudden you've got your DCE. Because normally that's what you're searching for is your DCE. So, 4-3 Trevenant for item lock. Got your 1-1 line of Zorak. I know that seems light, but normally you play a 1-1 line of Musharna or a 1-1 artillery line, so that's fine. That's not a big deal, because normally, 2 attacks and you're going to get a couple prizes, so the chance of getting missing piece of the puzzle is pretty quick. Going to be pretty easy. So, Shaman for setup, lets you dig a little deeper, because you are playing a lot of items, and there's a lot of moving parts to get set up, so that just helps you dig deeper. Lele, just in case if you get in a spot where you need a supporter, or you need to stall for a turn to grab that Guzma to stall, or a big 12, 14 Colress, if they have Skyfield in play, it could be pretty juicy. So, anything else on the Pokemon?
No.
We really like the Macargo on this deck. It adds a level of consistency the deck has not had. So,
That's it for Pokemon. Right?
that's it for the Pokemon.
Then going on to items.
Lots of items, folks.
On to Pokemon.
Lots of different Pokemon, which means lots of different items.
4 floatstones, 4 via seekers, 4 ultra balls, 2 level balls, 2 heavy balls, 2 field blowers, and then 1 computer search, 1 muscle band, 1 choice band, and 1 sacred ash.
Okay, so 4 floats. We're going to be looking to floatstone Trevenant 9 times out of 10, just in case something gets Lysandered or Guzma'd up like the Macargo. It has a heavy retreat cost, so we'll attach floatstone to it, but most of the time we're looking to attach to Trevenant. Ultra Ball, all the search. You got Level Ball, Heavy Ball, and Ultra Ball. Lots of different pieces. Level Ball gets you so many different options. Same with Heavy Ball. Trevenant's got 3 retreat, so you can grab that. Ultra Ball to thin your deck and your hand to, shaman if you just need to. Or Shelmet has a 3 retreat cost, so you can grab that with Heavy Ball. So a lot of value in this lineup, and this is a proven formula. This isn't just something random we threw together. This is a proven formula to search out what you need to get set up. 2 field blower, because parallel is going to be a major problem for this deck. It's not unbeatable, but it's pretty darn close, especially if you're not very careful with how you set your bench up. It will bite you in the butt. So field blower is a absolute must to get rid of those parallels. You are playing stadiums of your own, but you're only playing 2?
Yeah.
So
it's also great for if they have fighting fear belts. That kind of messes up the numbers sometimes, and you can just get rid of that to fix your numbers the way you want them. And so that's also a really good reason why they're there.
4 via Seeker, pretty standard. Most decks play 4. Some play 3. This one you want to be Colress. Once you get set up, you want to Colress every single turn. You just want to streamline Colress every single turn. Computer search, just in case if you're kind of hitting a hiccup and you need to grab something that you need. That's instant consistency. Now, Sacred Ash, you are playing a heavy line of pretty soft and squishy Pokemon, so you need to shuffle 5 back in. Much better than Super Rod in a deck like this. Now, you'll notice something that looks a little awkward. The Muscle Band and Choice Band, that is strictly for your numbers. With this deck, you want to be knocking them out as they come back into your turn. That way they have to put up a fresh Pokemon, and you can get the first deck and cover, put them in that paralyzation, item lock them with the Trevenant. So you don't want to be trying to take big knockouts and then them promoting something on their turn, and then they can attack into your Trevenant. That's not what you're looking for here, and sometimes it's better not to attach Choice Band or Muscle Band just so you have the right numbers. And we also play the Verbank that helps, and you're just looking to manipulate that. In a deck like this, it takes a lot of skill, a lot of thinking, and that's about it for the items, right?
Yeah, and then the 1 computer search.
Yeah, instant consistency.
The level ball is also really good because it gives you 6 options, and that's not counting the duplicate cards like, say, Acclegor, how there's 3 of it. It's just 1. You can get Acclegor, Shelmet, Phantom, Zorua, and
Macargo
line. So that's 7, actually.
Yeah.
Even more.
Lots of options.
3 Sycamores, 3 Colress, 2 N, 1 Guzma, 1 Copycat, 1 Teammates.
Okay, so 3 Sycamore, you're going to get to a point where you just need to dig deep, and maybe the benches are small because of Parallel City, so you have to dig super deep. That's your best option, Sycamore or Juniper. A couple Ns, you are going to get behind in prizes. This deck is famous for making a comeback down like 1, even 2 prizes and just sweeping, especially if you get the numbers right. So N can be quite handy in a deck like this. 1 Guzma, Guzma is honestly just for that extreme circumstance where you are just in a bad spot, you need to stall for a turn, or maybe you're being item locked, so you Guzma the Trevenant out of the active to get a turn of items. So it's not there to, let me get this last knockout for the game-winning Guzma, you know? That's not what it's there for.
Can do that sometimes.
You can, but it's not really what you're looking to do.
Yeah, I think I've done it once or twice.
Copycat, you want to talk about how good it is in this deck?
Well, since you're running Trev, you get to shut off all their items. So they're just going to have a whole bunch of cards in hand because they can't play their items to lower their hand size. So once that happens, you can copycat for like 10, 11, or 12. And if they're running a Zorg deck, then they're trading and then they're drawing another extra card because they discard one. And eventually their hand gets really bulky and you can copycat for a lot of cards.
Like the Zorg decks, they're playing not that many supporters. They're heavily item based. So they're going to have large 10 to 12 card hands. So copycat, lots and lots of value. It's essentially a fourth chorus.
Yeah.
So teammates, how great is it in this deck?
It's super good since you're running one prize attackers.
One prize attackers get knocked out, and then all of a sudden you grab 2 pieces of your missing puzzle to get your deck and cover off, or maybe just to shore up your item lock with a float stone and a Trevenant onto that Phantom. So teammates is pretty awesome, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it for the supporters.
And then onto the stadiums. There's only 2 of them, and that's Verbank.
We've toyed with adding a third Verbank and taking out one of the field blowers, but as of right now, we like the 2-2 split of field blower and Verbank. And the main reason for Verbank is deck and cover does poison, and you can manipulate the numbers pretty easily because, like, you have just the straight deck and cover that adds just the 1 poison damage counter in between turns. You could deck and cover with the muscle band and the 1 poison in between turns. You could deck and cover with the choice band and then add the 1 poison in between. Then you have Verbank that could supplement all the damage modifiers. So you have like 4 different combinations, and then within those 4 combinations, multiple attacks to manipulate the numbers that you need to get knockouts coming back into your turn. So that's enough for the stadium.
Pretty much there for numbers.
And then the shocking 4 DCE. And no special charge needed here.
Because you're putting them all back in the deck.
You all shuffle, and hopefully you have your Macargo set up, and you can just put it right on top, trade into it. Works out perfect. So we've never needed a special charge or any way to recoup the DCs, right?
No,
there's no reason to. Just 4 DCE, and that's it. So that's the deck, and we kind of covered the matchups a little bit. Malamar, take out the Dawnwings. Zorak variants, I think this looks pretty good.
just use deck and cover.
Trevenant's going to give you problems. I think that might come down to who gets the Trevenant
Item
lock first. And that just comes down to a coin flip.
Mm-hmm.
Or they have the Ascension attack. So I think Trevenant might be your hardest matchup. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
So, and then the Psychic decks, I think they're going to be a problem because I don't know if they're still going to be running 4 parallel cities. Like, they were running 4 parallels to deal with the Zorak variants. But if Zorak's not as big as it was, then maybe they cut the parallels. So, maybe that matchup, I think that would be kind of your second most difficult matchup, right?
Yeah.
And then the Big Daddy, Buzzwall. Auto win. Auto win, folks.
You got 2 Mews.
You're hitting them with Mew, deck and cover, poison. You're basically almost one-shotting them with when you add in the poison. Then Lycanroc, if they try to go that route, then you just straight up hit them with Acclegor.
And there's weakness there.
It has weakness, and plus with the poison, that's basically a one-shot. So, and they're projecting Buzzwole to be the number one deck going into Expanded. So, Buzzwole better watch out, because Acclegor could sneak up. And Trevenant with the resistance on Buzzwole. So, I mean, this could be a good meta call.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yep. So, that's what we got. And hopefully you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe. If you have any other suggestions or comments, by all means, leave them. Caden's pretty excited about this deck. He's played it to a lot of success in past tournaments. So
especially the Stoutland version.
So he's super excited for it. In the comments, leave if you kind of agree with Poke Dad on maybe Wobbuffet's a little better the way to go.
Or you can never go wrong with Trev.
The Dancing Bear says Trev. Poke Dad says Wob. Leave in the comments to see what you think. And until next time, be excellent to each other.
And party on, dudes.